Here is another horror story, which is from Rock Tornado Dog.
I think it's Rock Tornado G.
I think that it is a dog combined with a tornado.
Rock Tornado Dog?
Yeah, it sounds like something.
I don't know what that is, but you go.
I don't know what Rock Tornado G means also. Getting TPK'd by the DM and his wife. Another relationship-based story. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I think this might be good.
Yeah.
This is going to be juicy. Get ready. So I joined in late to a session and didn't really know what was going on. For some reason, everyone was in the middle of fighting guards when all of a sudden a spooky unknown voice asked every character if they wanted help. One person said yes. One player said yes to this voice. And they told the voice that they wanted every single one of the player characters to be killed. This player who asked this just so happens to be the DM's wife. So I think she was probably put up to this by the DM, right?
She told a spooky voice that she wants everybody to get killed in the party.
The wife of the DM.
Oh, okay. All right.
You think she did it on purpose because
it sounds like
the
that.
DM told her to? Her husband?
Sounds like she did it on purpose. I don't know about it, the DM.
Also, as a word of note, we were all level 6 at this point. Our backpacks all of a sudden have a magical force of nature trying to suck our bodies into our own backpacks. Something kind of like a black hole is in our backpacks sucking us in. Our very essence is going into our backpacks. Next thing I know, we're all separately rolling for grapple checks, I guess against their backpacks. The DM did a group roll saying that he rolled a NAT 20 for all of their backpacks to grapple them. So everyone has to roll a NAT 20 or they would be grappled, magically sucked into their bag of holding and immediately killed. This sounds dumb.
Incredibly dumb.
This is one of the worst premises I've heard in a horror story. Why are you murdering all of your players with their backpack? As a reaction, because the only thing allowed for me to do was a reaction, I did silvery barbs on the guy doing this against me, and I ended up rolling a NAT 20 on a grapple check, so I succeeded.
He actually did it. You see, D&D magic is in full power.
Pretty sure I'm right on that. Silvery barbs, I think, can negate a NAT 20.
Is it a spell or what is it?
Yeah, silvery barbs is a spell. I'm going to look it up while we're talking. By casting silvery barbs on whoever caused their backpacks to grapple them, they would have had to re-roll that NAT 20, and then the whole party would have then had an opportunity to save against their own backpacks and not roll a NAT 20.
If DM rolled it in NAT 20, there is only one opportunity to re-roll it.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with this spell.
Yeah, so the DM obviously didn't do that, or maybe we're not understanding the scenario correctly. But anyway, this player did roll a NAT 20 and saved, right? So they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to die in my own backpack.
Sounds like fun.
Well, my hopes and dreams were immediately squashed when the DM proceeded to say, okay, the evil force is going to attempt to grapple you again. I roll less good this time, and then I am forcefully sucked into this bag with everybody else, this bag of holding. Every character failed their grapple checks then, and all got sucked into separate bags of holding. And then we see a third-person view of our character's world being exploded into oblivion.
What is he up to? You do not do that. Okay, but she grapples you again. So what? It is gonna be eternal.
One other thing I don't like about this is the DM did a group roll to grapple them with their backpacks. He rolled once and got a NAT 20, and that counted for everyone. That's not really how anything works. I don't like this. He's obviously forcing them to die in their own backpacks, and I'm now really believing that his wife is in on it.
And the whole world is going to collapse.
Because now they get sucked into their backpacks and the world explodes.
Moving plot forward.
Total railroad. So the world is exploded into oblivion, as our world was apparently a giant bag of holding. So the whole world was just a bag of holding.
Okay.
That they were living in. By the way, a bag of holding is an interdimensional space. So if they were wearing bags of holding in a world that was a bag of holding, it would have been destroyed anyway. So thus causing an enormous explosion and causing a TPK. Rules as written. That's what raw means here. This is an impossible situation because you can't have a bag of holding in the first place that has a bag of holding inside it. That's what I just said. You can't have an interdimensional space inside an interdimensional space. So the DM made this up and somehow felt it was appropriate to rule it as that was the causation of the explosion finally happening.
Divided by 0.
Yes. He's just making up his own rules, rewriting physics, all of it. As a player, if you found out that you were living your whole life as a character in a bag of holding, I would be fine with the world exploding.
There is a possibility that the whole universe is just a particle of an atom in a huge world.
Yeah.
So we live in a particle of an atom. I don't care. If it is my world, then I can live in it. If it is a bag of holding.
The DM then said the guy who did this to us was the BBEG. So apparently the BBEG won. End of campaign.
Just like that.
I guess.
That's it.
And that this was supposed to be a longer campaign and not just 3 sessions. I thought at the beginning they said they were 6 sessions or something.
They were at level 6.
So this was supposed to be a longer campaign and not just 3 sessions, but there just so happened to be all the exact worst possible scenarios that all coincided with each other, along with some unlucky Nat 1 rolls to see what would happen. And that's why it was a TPK. I don't understand any of that. The DM made a bunch of rolls and determined his whole world needed to end, and the players couldn't do anything about it.
So I don't have any proof of that, but something makes me think that his NAT 20 was a bullshit.
I'm with you on that one too. I think this whole thing is made up nonsense, that he coached his wife. Here's what you say when I ask this question. And then he made all the rest happen and faked the roles.
Maybe he was burned out at DM.
I don't know. It says
He tired of DMing. He was tired of DMing and doesn't want to continue to move on, but to tell them, I'm tired, guys. I don't know if I want to continue it. He decided, screw it. Let's make an apocalypse, interdimensional apocalypse.
The writer said after he did all of this, he proceeded to say that he still wants to run a campaign for them, and he would let them choose the theme they wanted for the new campaign. The majority of the people said they wanted a horror campaign setting. The writer of this letter says, I don't even know if I want to join another campaign with this guy. I put in a lot of work and effort with my previous character, and I feel like all the player autonomy had been frivolously taken away from me. They're right, it was.
I don't understand then. It doesn't make any sense right now. Any ideas I had, they just crashed.
Yeah.
No more ideas.
And I'm with this person. They say, I don't think I can trust this guy DMing me anymore. He took zero responsibility for his decisions that he had made as a DM, and that is quite a huge deal in my opinion. I agree.
Yeah. He just rolled, and guys, any of your actions don't matter at all. Nothing matters at all. This is what's gonna happen.
He literally made one roll, rolled a d20, and destroyed his whole campaign in the world.
Oh shit. I hope that there was only at least some chain of rolls.
I don't know. He said he made some, or this person said that he made other rolls, or that he told them that he made other rolls, but the only roll we hear about is when he rolled the Nat 20 to suck them all into their backpacks.
This is why I wouldn't play with this DM. I don't like cheating in any games, especially in D&D. I think that cheating in D&D is the next level of stupidity.
My favorite rolls in D&D are Nat 20s and Nat 1s. Because that's where all the fun happens.
This is why that happens. Nats are awesome. And they do
Yes.
happen.
And if you're really just tired of running the world you're running, tell your players, look, guys, I don't like where this campaign's going. It's just not fun for me anymore. So how about if we just start over next session, or this session we'll make new characters. You tell me what theme you want, and next session I'll start running the theme you want, and we'll start fresh because I'm really not feeling this campaign. If a DM came to me and said that and they were honest, I'd be fine with it. I just want to play the game.
The only thing I would want to say also, that people watch our horror stories, but they rarely press like buttons. Some of them do, and I think that you are on with me on that. We appreciate those likes. The new horror story from the RPG's horror stories is from Rub Spiritual 3189. There are a lot of Rub Spirituals, I guess. It's titled GM Wants to Be a Renowned Novel Author. I know another GM who wants to be a novel author.
This is not about me. Well, I don't think it's about me because I haven't read it yet, but I hope it's not about me. But I am actually a novel author. I am not renowned. As a matter of fact, I think, Alex, you and about like my mom and about 5 other people even know that I'm a novel author. And I've already written 2. The third one comes out in a couple months as soon as my cover is done.
Awesome. I hope there will be sometime there will be a horror story about you though.
Oh no,
maybe this one
I hope not. If there is a horror story about me, I am going to be brutal on myself.
You wouldn't even recognize. This would be the funniest thing if you wouldn't recognize, and I will laugh my ass off, and you will be reading and roasting yourself.
I am so unself-aware, I will have no idea it's about me.
Holy shit. Now I get an idea to write it down myself.
Oh no, you haven't even been in one of my games yet. Don't you dare.
One day.
And write it immediately so it's really emotional.
Yeah, a couple of hours.
All right, so this GM wants to be a renowned novel author. Sorry for the mistakes. English is not my first language.
How dare you write the story in this case?
Yeah, that's not... No, I'm kidding. Of course. I could write this story. This story took place 6 years ago, so it's definitely not about me. My first book came out in 2023. So.
But you did want... Maybe did want 6 years ago. You thought...
I don't think I started writing it until 2022, though. So I don't think I had any plan on being a novel author before that. So this one's definitely not about me, people. So, so I joined a starting D&D 3.5 group hosted by a friend of a friend. My friend wasn't part of the party, so I didn't know anyone in it. So this person referred him to a group that he's not even in. And so he joined it and he didn't know anybody. The GM was 25-ish years old. Yeah, that also definitely not me, as you can see. The GM was 25 years old, lived with his parents, and didn't have a job because he was working on writing a novel for a few years, and was convinced he would become famous because his story was amazing. Okay, I get it. I mean, we all want to believe our story is amazing.
We are a little bit biased.
That's the hard part, is making it as awesome for other people as we think it is. That's the hard part. So we created our characters, a real D&D party. I was a warlock. We had a rogue, a fighter, and a monk. We started the GM's homebrew campaign. Each time we played via Discord and Roll20, we never met in real life. Each time, the rhythm of the session was the following: 30 to 45 minutes where the GM told us how the world evolved and how his NPCs and OCs reacted to it and interacted together.
What is OC?
Original characters. They're basically, like, could be DM PCs.
Okay, all right.
He's basically narrating for 30 to 45 minutes about the world, and the players, the PCs, are just watching.
This is boring as hell.
If you're gonna lore drop, do it organically in conversations with NPCs.
Show, don't tell. The first rule of an author. And he breaks it already. How can he become a famous one?
Sounds like he's just basically reading his book to the players.
It doesn't sound like fun, because if you
No.
have the extra exposition for 30-45 minutes in a book as well, it is boring as hell. And in D&D, over 5 minutes, it is already too much.
You got to do it in conversation so that they're participating, immersion, engagement. So 30 to 45 minutes is that narrative that they're just an audience for. Then a fight happens. Goblins attack the town. The local tailor needs us to kill spiders. Whatever it is, there's a fight. Then there's 15-minute fight where we are mainly there to help the GM's OCs do the job, which they would have done even without us.
Oh no.
Then we wrap up with 30 to 45 minutes more of description of the world evolving and the NPCs living their lives, which we just sit and watch. Then a fight, then 30 to 45 minutes of narrative. He's basically saying for every hour that they play, there's 15 minutes of them and 45 minutes of the DM narrating.
I would have begun after the first exposition. Maybe after the second one, I will be like, oh shit, I remembered something. I have to go.
I'm going to the bathroom and climbing out the window.
Toilet, yeah. I completely forgot.
Why are you bringing your dice to the bathroom? Oh, for luck.
To train a little.
Yeah, completely. I'm right out the window. So after 3 sessions, I've had enough of this game where our characters are just spectators, and it wasn't even railroading. It was just NPCs and the GM's OCs, GMPCs, living out all the cool stuff we were supposed to be doing, and we just happened to be there to watch them. So I wrote a message in the Discord server explaining my decision to leave and then left the server. I learned a few years later that the GM resented me greatly and had a session where the remaining PCs killed his PC in a fight. So that 15 minutes of fighting was against his PC. And then the DM probably narrated for 45 minutes about how that PC was the big bad the whole time.
Yeah, he was resented.
Curious to see what people have to say about this.
The very first comment. I question why it takes 30-45 minutes to convey relevant information to the players about their current task, etc. Did he do, and now the news of the world? I can see how that would get old fast. Sounds like DMing was his creative outlet, and he went overboard with his captive audience.
He was basically, I think he was writing his book through the characters.